Okay, Panzer J is back, and we've come to Japan's turn here in turn number 6 of Operation Live and Let Die, so officially turn 6.3. Just to touch base before I get started with Japan, as far as the units in Spain. So I was under the mistaken impression that they could still move after the conclusion. Um, uh, and there's been a little bit of back and forth with my opponents, my worthy opponents, I should say, and gracious opponents, as well as some of the community through YouTube about what is permissible, what can be done. So I didn't realize that at the end, the conclusion of the turn where the nationalists won, that was when you could move units. I figured since units had already engaged in combat, um, that they obviously normally cannot move after combat unless they're planes returning to a friendly territory. But so that's why I didn't move the 3 artillery pieces at the end of the nationalist turn that they won, as well as the 2 ships, the cruiser and the transport. So again, my worthy and gracious opponents have allowed me to move them now. The militia, we also went back and forth with. I'm fine with leaving that on Balearic Island. That's not a big deal. So I'm just going to keep that there. But the 3 artillery, I wanted to move them into Madrid. I have. And then the cruiser and the transport, I wanted to move to C Zone 49, and I have. So that's all set. So from this point forward, until possibly Spain enters the conflict, that is the configuration of the Spanish units up until the point where they possibly enter the war. So we've got a minor factory in Madrid, along with 3 artillery and 4 fighters. And then in C Zone 49 is the cruiser and the transport, and the militia is on Balearic Island. So that finishes off the Spain. Hopefully for the Axis, they will have cause to use those Spanish units down the road, but we'll see how things turn out there. As far as the Japanese turn, I am definitely growing more and more concerned with the CCP. I know that Global War 36 enthusiast had spoke in his last video about being potential trade partners and spreading the gospel of the CCP to the Japanese through pamphlets and other forms of propaganda. So things are all peaceful between us now. Hopefully that will continue, but I am, again, becoming more concerned with the growth of the CCP, and especially units moving towards the border with Japanese territory, specifically in Rihi here. So we're not going to do anything for the time being. The CCP is up to 9 IPPs, and I believe 13 is their evolution to a major power. So I think we still have a couple of turns to go before they reach that status. But unless Fighting Irish can turn the tables here, it looks like the CCP will evolve to a major power. I do like what Fighting Irish has got going on down here in Hunan with that huge stack of infantry. Hopefully that is something of a deterrent to the CCP, but we'll see. But for now, Japan is again not going to war with anybody. So no need to engage in combat. So first things first, we'll go ahead with our tech rolls. And if you guys have been watching the last couple turns of the game, I've had absolutely horrible luck with not just the Japanese, but the Axis in general. So we'll see how this goes. We've got 2 rolls because of our 2 major factories, and we are already at stage 2 for improved construction and wartime economy. So those have to stay put for the time being. So we're going to go for improved factories and long-range aircraft. So both of those, excuse me, require a 7 or higher. So let's go with long-range aircraft first. And we got a 10, so we succeeded there. And then improved factories also a 7 or higher. And we got a 9. So, hey, there you go. So, a little bit of redemption there. So, let's go ahead and mark the Japanese down for stage 1 for long-range aircraft and stage 1 for improved factories. So, not too bad for the Japanese overall. We got 4 techs on the board for the Japanese. Now let's go ahead and do our purchases. And Japan had $20 to spend this turn. So they are going to go ahead and spend 19 of it. So we're just going to save $1. And that $19 is going to go towards putting 2 light cruisers on the production chart at stage 2. And that's $4 a piece. That's 8. A destroyer for 7. That's 15. And then a regular Marine at 4, so that's 19. So that's the $19 they're going to spend. So let's go ahead and put these 2 light cruisers over here on the production chart at stage 2. So they are at stage 2 along with a fleet carrier. This heavy cruiser is finished off, so we get to place that this turn along with our destroyer and our Marine. So that's our purchases. And as far as non-combat, again, there's actually no movement whatsoever. The Japanese are basically concentrated in just 2 areas right now in the game. This massive fleet here is in C-Zone 89 off of Formosa. And then we've got a decent amount of units in Rihe. So no non-combat movements at all. So now we're going to place our new units on the board. So our heavy cruiser is going to go into C-Zone 38. There was already a light cruiser there. Our destroyer is also going into C-Zone 38. And then our Marine is going in Kyushu. So that is it for the Japanese here on turn number 6. They are still at $16 for income. They saved $1, so that's 17, and then they still get the full $3 from the United States for oil trade. So that will conclude Japan 6.3. I will be turning things over to Fighting Irish now for the British Commonwealth French turn. See you guys at Italy turn 6.6.